just over 3.5 stone. Been a member now for a year. I had my daughter just under 2 years after my son. In total, I think I gained close to 5 stone. Not to get too deep, it was horrendous. Going to T2FIT, losing weight is the ultimate goal. But like I said, it's given me so much more than that. I'm feeling strong, I'm feeling fit, I'm feeling confident. First time in my whole life, feel like I really know what I'm doing. I know you guys talk about the community quite a lot, and I remember saying, I don't care for a community. I have my friends. I've made some incredible friendships now, and actually we keep each other accountable. I remember the first time I had to do lunges. Oh God, it was bad, Luke.
Hello and welcome back to T2FIT Talks, where we aim to educate and inspire individuals to achieve their full potential. I am your host today, Luke, and I have got a very special guest sitting with me today. We have the lovely Sophie.
Hi.
Hey Sophie, how are you?
I can't believe I'm here.
Yeah, finally. We've pulled you in. It's been months of hard work in the background to try and get you here. But we wanted to get you here because you've had an incredible journey since not just me knowing you close to a decade ago when I was working out just a couple of hours ago, but also over the past year since joining T2FIT. So I guess firstly, I'd love to jump into, how long you've been part of the program, why you joined the program, and just kind of like a high level overview as to what it's given you.
Okay, well, you skipped the 10 years thing. Let's go back to that.
Okay.
You skipped the 10 years. Because actually, I don't think people know that we've known each other for that long.
It's been a long time.
We met in Nuffield.
Yeah.
Can we say Nuffield?
We can.
Okay.
We can.
We might not say that one. But yeah, we met in Nuffield and we went to Marbella together.
We did.
2016, I think it was.
Yeah.
Let's just say it wasn't just me and you.
No.
We don't want rumours to start. It wasn't just me and you. Group of us from the gym.
Yeah.
And what a trip.
Yeah.
Before babies.
Yeah.
Before life got real. Before you were a gym owner.
Yeah, well, that's it.
No, it was good fun. Yeah. So what can I say? Joined a year ago, T2FIT, life changing. Yeah. To be quite honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, tell me a little bit about, since knowing you over the past 10 years and just seeing like your journey and how you've evolved as a person. Tell me what life was like 10 years ago, obviously pre-kids, pre-marriage and everything like that. What were you doing with your health and fitness?
I was mixing in and out of stuff, if I'm honest. Before kids, I had a really good relationship with exercise and nutrition, probably because I had the time to focus on it. I always struggled, I would say, with my weight. I had to work out in order to maintain my weight. I'm not one of those lucky few that can just eat what they want and get away with it. So no, I had to work out. So I was in a commercial gym. I had the freedom and the flexibility to go as often as I wanted. Sometimes 6 days a week, just for the hell of it, because I wanted to. I could stay as long as I wanted. I had time to food prep, which is something that I used to always do. I worked with a couple of coaches over the years as well, especially for things like holiday prep. If I wanted to get into a position where I felt confident on holiday, I've worked with coaches to kind of prep for that. And yeah, I've always had a really good, healthy, happy relationship with exercise. And I've always been really confident with my weight. I've never really, although I look back now and I see moments in my life where perhaps I was a little bit bigger, I was still very confident and happy with my body, my figure, my size. And it was never really a big issue until the kids.
Yeah, so were the kids that moment where you start to see a difference in the way you felt, the way you looked?
Yeah, absolutely. So I fell pregnant 2020, which was lockdown. So funny story, I actually lost a lot of weight in the first part of lockdown. I was walking a lot. I did one of your, I think it was one of your online, do you remember?
Probably.
You did one, and I did like this cardio session online, and I looked incredible, I felt incredible, dropped loads of weight, and no one saw it because we were in lockdown. And we decided, right time to, let's start a family, why not, let's do it. It was something that we'd been talking about for a long time. Fell pregnant, and the fatigue that I felt when I was pregnant, especially in those first 3 months, was something that I just had never ever predicted was going to happen. I was exhausted. So walking upstairs to go to the bathroom was an issue. That is how bad it felt. And all of a sudden my exercise, getting my steps just stopped. It was that thing of, you know, I'm exhausted here. And you don't want to put your body in strain. You constantly just think, okay, the baby is...
So that was 3 months into pregnancy, or was that post?
3 months into pregnancy, when I was pregnant, So all of that stopped. And then, you know, you want to eat when you're pregnant. And I think where I had been, I guess, watching what I ate for so long, I just, went for it. And I you know, I was healthy. It wasn't, you know, ridiculous, but I stopped calorie counting. And obviously where I wasn't moving much, and we were in lockdown, so there were no gyms. It wasn't like I can go and do some swimming or something like that. It was, it really hit me hard, and the weight just really slowly piled on. And actually it got worse when he was born, so I can't blame pregnancy the whole time. But and then I had my daughter just under 2 years after my son. So in that period of time, in total, I think I gained close to 5 stone.
Wow. So that was the period of having given birth to Isaiah and then having Amaya.
Yeah. 5 stone. And not to get too deep, it was horrendous. You know, you battle with the idea of everybody tells you, oh, you're pregnant, eat what you want, doesn't matter, you look great, you're glowing, you know, all of that. But in reality, I was unhealthy. I wasn't moving. I wasn't training. I was eating what I wanted without considering the repercussions of what was going in my mouth and how that was going to make me feel. I suffered quite a lot as well in my second pregnancy with girdle pain. So doing any form of exercise was difficult. Even sleeping was painful. So I had all of that going on. And anyone that's gained weight, whether it's about babies or not, it affects you massively. Your confidence, your self-esteem, and things just changed. Life changed. No more Marbella trips.
No more Marbella trips.
I was not bikini ready.
Okay, so what was it that kind of, obviously being 3 months pregnant with Isaiah, that sounded like the spark of you falling, like the habits that you had built up for the however long that you've been exercising. What do you think it was that stopped you from getting back into shape quicker? Was it a case of being a mum and being busy? Was it a story you told yourself, or was it a case of like just not having the motivation to go and work out?
I think it was definitely a mix of things. So I'm self-employed. I run my own business. So I actually didn't have much time off work. He was 9 weeks premature. So he came very early, and at that time I was still working on a project. And if I didn't finish that project, nobody else is going to finish it. And so he was in hospital for 5 weeks. So I would work every single morning, and I would spend every single afternoon and evening in hospital with him. Wow. And there was no time to exercise. I mean, obviously I'm still healing from, you know, giving birth anyway. So you're not meant to technically exercise, but you know, it was grab and go food. It was just trying to get by every single day without thinking about myself. I wasn't a priority. He was. So that was, I think, the time, not having the time to do it. And then I just got in that rut of just, how am I going to lose all this weight? You know, the whole grand scale of it all, you know, it's scary, because I think, oh my goodness, how have I got to this point? And then at that point, I wasn't a member of a gym. So we were still kind of lockdown time at that point. So not many gyms were open. I think they were starting to open. So in terms of access to stuff, there wasn't much of that. But yeah, it was a really, really scary thought. And I think I just kind of hid in baggy clothes and hoped it would just go away one day.
So what was that defining moment that made you flip the switch and go, right, I need to do something? Was it having Amaya, or was it a case of like a certain moment where you're like, you know what, I need to make some changes?
There were lots of moments where I think, you know, after a meal, perhaps you had, you know, more than you needed to have. And in that moment of just feeling, oh, I feel gross. Like, what am I doing with myself? I think I've had many of those little moments like, right, Monday, I was that person. Monday, I'm going to start. Monday, I'm going to do this. And just Monday came and went, and I never did. I remember when Amaya was born, and, you know, you have loads of visitors, people coming to see you. And I remember feeling, I just did not want to see anybody. I just, with the thought of people, especially people, because we had that whole lockdown thing, I hadn't actually seen many people for a while, and it was the fear of, oh my gosh, they're going to look at me and see how much weight I've gained, and I just don't want to see anybody. So that, I think the build up of that felt quite overwhelming.
Yeah.
It wasn't a nice feeling. It was just feeling of like, oh my goodness, I just want to hide. But in actual fact, you know, I've just had a baby. I should be celebrating that. And, you know, I wasn't. And then I think it really hit me when I just started to feel like nothing was fitting me anymore. I didn't like what I was wearing. I felt really lack of confidence, low self-esteem. And not to get too deep with you, but I really felt very, very low, awful, and just didn't want to do anything, didn't want to go anywhere. And I just think we've all had the moment where you just know now is the time. And I don't remember the specific moment, but I definitely had that moment where I just thought, okay, I've got to make some changes here.
Did you find it was bleeding into other areas of your life? So relationships, work, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, absolutely. Just, I didn't want to go out with girlfriends because I just thought, I've got nothing to wear. I didn't have the confidence. If I did go out, I often just felt like I wanted to just hide. Yeah, absolutely. Work-wise, not so much. I work from home. So I guess you can hide behind a screen and you're all right. Just see the face and you can kind of get away with it. But yeah, absolutely. You know, my partner is very, very social. He likes to get out and do things. And I was the one that was constantly just like, no, I'm happy at home. Like, just became a bit of a recluse. Well,
let's fast forward to today. And then I want to backtrack to when you made that decision to join. What results have you seen so far?
Huge results. So I initially joined T2FIT with just a very simple goal of, I need to lose some weight. That was all I needed. I didn't need anything else. I just wanted to drop weight. And I've been a member now for a year. I've dropped just over 3.5 stone, which is what for the kg people? I don't know what that is.
Coming up to 50 pounds.
50 pounds.
Kg, give me another minute.
I'm not a kg person. And actually, I'll be honest, obviously the weight loss was the goal. That's what I needed. That's what I wanted. I've still got work to do. I'm still progressing to my goal weight. But actually the membership brought me so much more than that. So much more than that. And I remember, you know, even just feeling strong again. Yeah. And a lot of women will relate to this when they have a baby. You know, things change, your body changes, your bones move. You don't have the same strength that you're used to having. And I remember I was like, oh, this is so embarrassing. I remember being at home and I was sitting on the floor and it took me a good few minutes to stand up. You know, when you just have to use every limb to, you know, my hands, and I remember taking so long to stand up and kind of ushering up and the heavy breathing that came with that. I remember looking at my partner and just going, oh gosh, this is not good. There might have been the word granny thrown out. It was like, no, this is not a good feeling. And so yeah, that membership and coming has given me that strength again. I can stand up quite quickly now. Yeah. Bonus.
So what was the first things that you put in place when you first started? Was it a case of just getting training under your belt, or did you go all in and go, right, everything's out of the cupboard, I'm tracking everything I'm going to eat, I'm going to be training X amount of days a week? What did that look like let's say the first 4 weeks? What did that look like?
I would say I've done it in phases. I think it's quite daunting, especially at that kind of place that I was in my life. It's very daunting to go, I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week. I'm going to track all my food. I'm going to, you know, do it all. So I wanted to just kind of ease into it a little bit. And I would say for anyone going through that, that's probably the safest thing to do, because I think you're going to set yourself up for failure if you realistically, especially with kids now in the picture. I can't go to the gym 5-6 days a week. I just can't do it. I can't be food prepping all of Sundays. I can't go out for hours walks to get my steps. It's just not going to happen for me anymore. So it was a real sit down of kind of like, right, what's this going to look like? And actually I looked at the T2FIT program and realized actually there are times throughout the day that I can go. I can make this work.
How did you make that work with the kids? Was that a case of sitting down with a partner and saying, like, this is what I need? Yeah. Can you support, or family?
basically. I had to sit down and say, what's your schedule? What's my schedule? What are we going to move around to make this work? For those that know, my partner is very, very active in the gym. Training is life for him, to the point where he trains at, what was it, 4:30 in the morning, Luke? So yeah, that is something that I just would never be able to do. I'm not a 4 training person. It's never going to happen. And obviously if he's there at the gym at that time, I've got the kids, so I'm never going to be able to do it. So it was a matter of figuring out what works for us. So yeah, it was literally sitting down, looking at schedules, finding some time and having a routine, because it was really important. I didn't want to just wake up one day and go, right, I'm going to go to the gym maybe at this time. Are you around? I needed that routine. I needed that set in place in our schedules that we knew. I think I did 4 o'clock, 3 days a week, and that was my time to go.
And you stuck to that same time every week?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
For a whole year.
And that was just the strength side of things?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you do anything else to supplement that, like any cardio? Did you do any of the conditioning sessions?
I do now, but initially, no. Initially, I literally just started doing the small group weight training sessions. I try to do a bit of walking. I tend to try and get my steps in front of the TV if the kids are running around. Like, it's not ideal. I miss going out and getting that fresh air, but you just can't. You can't. Yeah. Especially now my son's walking and he walks so slowly and I'm like, this is not fun. And my daughter Amaya, who's now walking, she's happy in a buggy for a very short amount of time. So yeah, it's not easy. I sometimes take them to the park and let them play in the park, and I just kind of walk around the park while they're playing. Yeah. But even that, it's just not. Yeah, it's not ideal, is it?
So training was key. 3 sessions a week. Trying to get as active as you can. Yeah. Taking them out. What about nutrition? What kind of things did you put in place?
Yeah.
That was simple and convenient enough. I guess you're looking for convenience, right? And speed.
Yeah. And I used to food prep, and I used to have all my food for the week prepped and ready. I kind of did a bit of that. I kind of did a half and half. So, I did a little bit of food prep on a Sunday. So again, scheduling, making sure that I had my couple of hours on a Sunday to be able to do that. I food prepped a little bit. So I had kind of like, I knew my busy times during the day. So where I'm working or with the kids or running around, if I have something, I'm less likely to fail. I'm it's there ready for me. I have no excuse not to eat it. Yeah. So I did a little bit of food prep, and I used MyFitnessPal to just keep track of what I was eating. I was actually talking to one of the members about this the other day, because it's so easy to go over your calories and not even realize it. Yeah. 1 or 2 little things extra and you just don't realize. So I think for me, initially it was nice to be able to track, just to get an idea of where I'm at, what I'm eating, and then a little bit of food prep. But yeah, so I did have to make some changes. And actually, it's really sad, but for a while I didn't go out very much, because I am very much, if I'm out, I'm out. I'm going to enjoy my food. I'm not going to buy a salad. If I'm in a nice restaurant.
Start on main dessert.
You may as well, right? If you're out, you're out. You've got to enjoy it. Nice glass of wine, glass of Prosecco. Yeah. So I did, for a short period of time, have to cut back on some of that. And yeah, it worked for me for a period of time. But as you know, things change. Yeah.
So did you have any big challenges when you, let's say the first 3 months, like what kind of results did you see the first 3 months? And what kind of challenges, if any, did you face?
Initially, I did see weight loss quite quickly. I saw it come down, which I think is quite normal. I think when you've gone through a period of time of eating a lot and not moving very much, and as soon as that change happens, you do see a kind of a spike in weight loss. So that just gave me that bit of confidence to say, right, okay, keep going. And actually my confidence changed almost straight away. That endorphin rush that you get from exercise, I forgot all about that. And actually, I said yes to doing this podcast after I finished a training session. So you were sitting there. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And I was like, oh, it's the endorphins talking. Yeah. But yeah, that feeling of training and exercising. And I'll be honest, I've really felt like a novice again. And that was a massive, massive shock to me. I remember the first time I had to do lunges. Oh God, it was bad, Luke.
I think I was there. Bad. I feel like I remember that. Yeah.
I had to hold the wall to do them, and I only went down probably about 5 centimeters. Like it was bad. My body had taken a lot over the last couple of years with 2 pregnancies and the weight gain. I felt really, really different. And yeah, it was a big wake up call. Yeah. I had a lot of work to do.
What was that like, knowing what you could do 5 years before that? Was that something that frustrated you, or was it quite motivating to be like, I want to get back to that?
It initially really frustrated me. Yeah. I actually, to be honest, I found it quite embarrassing. Yeah. I did. I found it really embarrassing. And yeah, the thing is, you got to say to yourself, you've got to start from somewhere. And I knew I was starting from the ground up again. And sure. I had to just keep reminding myself, there's a reason I'm doing this. You've got to think of the end goal, or whatever that might be for you. And yeah, I persisted and got to it. But yeah, it's hard. It's really hard to go backwards.
What was that thing that kept, like, let's say you had a low day and you're like, I can't be bothered. I'm sure you had days like that. Did you?
Yeah,
What was that thing that kept bringing you back to, like, no, I need to go and do it? Was it kids? Was it family? Was it just being a role model? What was it that really drove you to be, like, being consistent for a year and losing as much as you have?
Yeah.
There's a lot of consistency involved. Yeah. And even you saying about the early parts of your journey where you didn't eat out, there's a lot of sacrifices, even though some people see it as like a luxury to be able to go out and eat, but it's still, if it's part of your lifestyle and your culture with going out, meeting friends and family, it's a big change. Like, how did you stay on track and anchor yourself to, like, something that when you fell into that rut, if you did, how did you pull yourself out of it?
Probably a number of things. I think I held myself accountable personally by telling my friends and family. And I
Was
would
that from day one?
From day one.
Yeah.
And I think I would give that advice to anybody jumping into something like this. Don't do it alone, because I feel like then you can easily go back to where you were before. You have no one to be accountable to. Yeah. So I told my partner, I told my sister, I told my friends, my family all knew. And you get that encouragement from people. They care for you, they love you, they're going to encourage you. There's no doubt about it. So the small wins that I kept having, even if I lost £1, to tell them and for them to be like, that's amazing, keep going. That for me was really, really important.
Yeah. So you shared that with them? Like, when you got some wins, you were like, I've done X?
Yeah, and then if I saw my family, they obviously knew that I was trying to be good, so we would eat healthy, that kind of thing. And obviously making sure there's healthy choices in the house, just all of that, all of the little things I think help. I got myself some new gym clothes, and I know that sounds really random, but I just think nothing beats a good set of new gym clothes, and just to give you that push to get into the gym, wear your new outfit and get in the gym. So I did a bit of that. And obviously all my previous gym clothes didn't really fit me anymore. Yeah. So yeah, I got some new gym stuff that I knew that I was going to be happy to go in. And actually accountability, and what I didn't, this is what I was saying earlier. So when I joined T2FIT, it was simply to lose weight. I didn't particularly care about all the other things that came with it. However, so much more came from membership for me. And I remember joining, and I know you guys talk about the community quite a lot. You kind of join this community. And I remember saying, I don't care for a community. I have my friends. I don't have time for any more friends. And I just thought, I want to get in. I want to train. I want to get back home to the kids or get back home to work. And here's me now. I've got all my friendships. I'm in WhatsApp groups. It is a community. And I think you can absolutely go and train and not worry about any of that. But I've made some incredible friendships now, and actually we keep each other accountable, and we have done for a really long time now. It's, what session are you going to? Are you going to be there at which time? Like, I've just started doing some of the large group cardio sessions, which is an eye-opener. And the first one that I did was with the girls, and it actually, I don't know that I would have gone maybe without them. Yeah. So I think it's just lovely, and they're there encouraging you. And obviously I had all the acid build up as you do. I was like, oh my God, I think I might be sick, but they're there going, you're fine, you can do it, just do it, so that I think also really, really helps.
I think so many people can resonate with that, because when I speak to a lot of people, it's the same thing. We talk about the 5 things that everybody needs as part of a program, community being the most important. We always say that, but I think a lot of people like you, I'm the same. I've got my friendship group. I don't need any more friends. But what really happens is you come for the expert, but you stay for the community. And that's the real key point, is you don't just want to follow something that you stay and stick to for 3-6 months. You want something that you can maintain all year round. So if you can't stand being around the people that you go and work out with, where it's already hard to try and motivate yourself to get to the gym, it makes it even harder trying to stay in shape.
Yeah.
So if you can't make it work with the community, it's even more difficult when you're doing it on your own.
Yeah.
You implement in the larger groups, like you just said. What's the reason behind that? Is it to challenge yourself, or is it to help with, have you hit a point now where, you know, you've lost 3.5 stone, which is incredible, but has that slowed down, or is it a case of you just want to work on other benefits that cardiovascular fitness can bring?
Yeah, so definitely I plateaued. So I think it was around November last year, we went to America for Thanksgiving. We had Christmas, winter. I mean, who wants to go out in winter? So there was definitely a period where I plateaued, and I realised, okay, I need to start adding a little bit more now. And the kids are a bit older. They go to nursery now 3 days a week. You know, work is still busy, but, you know, we manage. And I realised, okay, I need to do a little bit more. And I still have a goal. I still want to lose another stone. 14 pounds to the pound people. Again,
how did you get to that number? Is that a case of where you were when you were in a certain size dress, or?
Yeah. So it was, if I was to lose 5 stone in total, it would get me back to a very, very happy weight that I was pre-baby. However, I think it's a little bit unrealistic for me. That was when I was really training 6 days a week, and I'm just not gonna be that person again, unfortunately. But I think 4.5 stone would get me to a really comfortable place. It's all the clothes that are currently under my bed I will now be able to wear again. So that is in my head, my goal. But not just, I guess it's hard, isn't it? And I don't want this to be triggering for anyone watching, because this is just my story, my journey of my weight loss. But also I'm feeling way more toned than I think I ever have. So back in the day, the Nuffield days, I was doing so much cardio.
Yeah,
because I just thought
you would do like back-to-back classes. It'd be like ridiculous. Body pump, then it'd be body attack,
spin.
abs, spin.
Yeah.
Was
ridiculous.
That a lack of like knowledge in terms of, I'm not sure how much I should be doing, more calories equals better results, or was it you just loved it? Because I know you said you didn't have a family then, you had a bit more free time, so it's probably that social environment that you loved there too at Nuffield.
Well, I just thought cardio is how you lose weight.
Right.
I genuinely thought that was all you needed to do in order to lose weight, and I did not even consider weights. And I remember back in the day, people would say, we don't want to lift heavy weights because we don't want to get bigger. And now I look back and I just think, God, this is just ridiculous. Yeah. I honestly blame social media. Because one of the things I would say about T2FIT is that we work with professional coaches in every single session. So not only am I feeling like I have an expert in front of me, I really, in the first time in my whole life, feel like I really know what I'm doing. Like I really genuinely know and I now look at people on Instagram and I think, oh, you're not doing that right. Yeah. I'm like, oh, that looks rubbish. What are you doing? What are you thinking? Because actually, you are there every single time with somebody who really knows what they're talking about. You have a really good workout, and actually, especially for me, with like I suffer with back pain, and of course having babies, your body does change, but they adapt that to you. I'm not going into the session and they're telling me to do what so and so is doing down there, because that's not necessarily going to work for me. So although we're doing the same exercises, I'm able to adapt it slightly. So like my lunges, where they're lunging and touching the floor and I'm just doing 5 centimeters, they adapted that to me. And actually over those months, building myself up to 5 centimeters and 10 centimeters, and now I can touch the floor. And that to me was I just never thought I would get there. So yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, is just the knowledge and feeling like I really do know what I'm doing, and safely, like I'm not injured. Do you remember the body pumps and stuff we used to do? And I just always just felt injured or sore, and my knees hurt. Like,
Imagine coaching it all day.
I know.
So
do you remember your Justin Bieber soundtracks?
Yeah, I used to have some good tunes. So what's going to happen when you achieve your goal? What's going to be the next thing that you think you need to focus on? Is that a case of you just stopping, or is it a case of working on other things? Like because I think for a lot of people actually, when they get to a result, they suddenly panic and go, what's the point now? What do I need to do? And then they go back to default mode, which is do all the things that got them into this situation and the reason why they started. And they need to go back into that, what do you call it? Sabotage mode, where you essentially just like kill everything, all the hard work that you've just put into getting to where you are, to go back again and repeat the process. Obviously that's not what you want to do, But have you thought about that as to like what that looks like once you do hit your target?
No. I know it's going to be maintenance. I'm very aware of that. And I don't know what that looks like. I imagine it just looks like what I'm doing now, but perhaps just a little bit more freedom with I can go out when I want to. I can go and eat this if I want to, maybe just relaxing a bit with that. But actually, yes, okay, going to T2FIT, losing weight is the ultimate goal. But like I said, it's given me so much more than that. I'm feeling strong, I'm feeling fit, I'm feeling confident. I've got my girlfriends there now, and I feel like it is a place that I would love to keep coming to because I want to remain strong. I want to feel confident. Yeah. And actually, I think even just I can then have mini little goals that, for example, if I have a holiday, perhaps I want to work a little bit more on my upper. I want to maybe make some changes there. So I think it's just having that maintenance and just keep going. And perhaps, it's changing up, maybe doing a little bit more cardio, maybe it's doing a little bit more weights and just seeing how my body reacts to it.
I like that. I like what you mentioned earlier in terms of when you said 5 stone is where you would love to be, but actually you're happy with, let's say, 4.5 in total when you lose that amount of weight. It's such a good point because a lot of people go to the extreme of where would be unsustainable. And actually you can get to a place of, let's say, for example, you put on 5 stone. If you were to get to 4 stone, that's actually you maintaining the lifestyle that you want. You're able to go and eat on the weekends. You're able to have a few drinks at the weekend. You're able to train 3 or 4 times a week, rather than what does it cost you when you have to train 6 days a week? You can't go out on the weekends. You essentially cut everything that you enjoy out of life. Sometimes it's not about getting to where you used to be. It's about getting to a place of where you're happy. And the way I can resonate with that is when I did the photo shoot and I got down to a really low body fat. It was great to get there, but I was never happy with staying in that shape, although it looked great. And it's being able to be content with being a bit fluffier, or maybe not being in like extreme shape, but you're in a position where you feel confident, you feel strong, you feel fit. There's so many other boxes. It's multidimensional rather than looking at it through a lens of I have to look like that. And I think if the way you're looking at it is really, really good, because that's lifelong change rather than quick change, quick wins, and then give up, move on, and you're trying to find the next massive target and goal.
And I think it's just prioritizing, isn't it? Throughout your life, things change and your priorities change. And this is one of the things that, yes, it's a priority to me. I need to get my health and fitness back on track, and I want to feel good. But ultimately, my kids are everything to me, and I don't want to be in the gym every day, and that means time away from them. I don't want to do that. So I think it is just reprioritizing and being okay with that. Just be fine with the fact that you're not going to be, sorry Luke, but you're not going to be in photo shoot mode all the time. Kelly's obviously very disappointed by that, but it's just
she likes the takeaways on the weekend.
Yeah, she does. But so I think it is just about reprioritizing and being realistic, which I think for anyone going through that, I do think it's really important to just, for me, I think it is doing things in small phases. And although, yes, the ultimate goal was always 4.5 stone, I worked on small little goals. And I think that was one of the ways that I was able to just keep going. It might have been we had a holiday booked in, so I knew, nice to lose maybe 0.5 stone before that holiday. Or I think I had a girlfriend's birthday and there was a particular outfit that I wanted to wear. And I just thought, okay, let's get to the next phase, another 0.5 stone, and I can fit into that dress. That kind of thing, I think, always really helps. So kind of the small goals, because it is daunting when you think about the 4.5.
Yeah. And to fast forward to today and see where you're at, it almost is like when you look back to when you first started, you probably thought that was a bit of a dream, like getting back into that shape you were so far off of mentally, like getting into that routine of I need to start exercising again, I need to start eating. It's a complete shift in the way you act on a daily basis. Anyone in your position taking you back like a year ago, what would be the best bit of advice? Someone who's either stuck in a rut, someone who's recently had children and is struggling to make time for themselves, what would be the best bit of advice that you could give them?
Oh my gosh. I'm not going to give one thing. There's going to be a few.
Yeah, list them.
I would probably say be really ready. Like if you are really ready, then go for it. But don't beat yourself up if you are being a Monday person like I was. Monday I'll do it, Monday I'll do it. If you're not ready, you're not ready. So just be prepared, and if you are ready, go for it. And I would just say, eat less, move more, stay consistent. That doesn't mean every single day. It's okay if you have down days, but get back on track after those down days. And just enjoy the process. If this is going to be a long-term, potentially lifelong change for you, you've got to enjoy it. So yeah, go in with a positive mindset of, I'm doing this, I'm doing it for myself, I'm doing it for the kids, I'm doing it for my friends, my family, whatever you want to do, and just enjoy it. Enjoy the process. You're more than likely going to stick to it if you're having a good time, I'd say.
Epic. Thank you so much. I've loved this conversation. This has been amazing. I could chat to you all day about this stuff, but thank you anyway, Sophie. I'm sure everyone's going to absolutely love this. And I can't believe this took a couple of messages, a phone call, a sit-down chat to try and get her on, because I knew she'd be amazing. But everyone watching, thank you so much for tuning in. I'd love to see your comments down below, what you thought about Sophie's journey. And I know there's going to be a lot of love inside the community from everyone who I don't even think are as aware as to how much you've progressed, because some people will come in very frequently and they're coming at all sorts of different times. You're actually coming in at a time where, one, you're coming 3 times a week, and you're coming at a time that's a little bit quieter. So for a lot of people watching this, they might not even know the kind of success that you've had. So it's super inspiring, and also just the tactical things that you've put in place that people can put in place for themselves. I think it's life-changing, inspiring.
And I said I'll only do this even if I could help one person. If there is somebody out there listening who is going through a difficult time, feeling really low, wants to make some changes, whether it's losing weight, gaining weight, whatever it might be, I hope it just helps one person.
I'm sure it'll do much more than that. All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. That is another episode of T2FIT Talks. Thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.